Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Ed YouTube channel, and it's El Clásico day today as the two of Europe's biggest clubs, FC Barcelona and Real Madrid, face off in a huge clash. Hansi Flick has got this Barcelona side ticking, especially up top with their attacking talent, and we know what Carlo Ancelotti is doing with his Galactico side. They've taken their time, but they're building, and they've been very, very solid defensively. Both sides in some great form, coming off a great Champions League wins for both sides. And I tell you what, they've come in with some great form, and they come with two different styles of football: the hard-working, creative giants that Barcelona have become, and then the real big game players, the system team that Real Madrid is under Carlo Ancelotti. And I thought, what better way to celebrate the El Clásico with a combined 11, putting two of the best clubs in Europe together to make probably the world 11 in many regards with how talented this squad is. I've gone with a 4-3-3 formation of this one here. In goal, I've got Thibaut Courtois. Sort of speaks for itself. He's a big game player, obviously known for his Champions League performances over the last few years, but it's been fantastic in the league this season as well, with 3 clean sheets. Only conceded the 0.8 goals per game on average, making 2 saves per game. Yes, hasn't been incredible defensively for Real Madrid in terms of being the proper brick walls, but they barely conceded this season. Thibaut Courtois has been a key figure in that, making some important saves at big times. And you talk about big games, you have to include Thibaut Courtois' name in there. You think back to last season, coming into the Champions League final and making those heroic saves against Borussia Dortmund to keep Real Madrid in the game there and eventually to win it. It speaks for itself. You have to go with the Belgian keeper. Across my back line, left back, I went Alejandro Balde, coming off an injury last season. Has been solid this season. Nothing ridiculous, but I like him over Ferland Mendy. A lot of upside to the young player here. 2.3 ball recoveries per game, the 50% successful dribble rate, and for me the big stats, the 83% successful pass accuracy in the opposition half. So he gets forward and creates from that left-hand side there as well. Hansi Flick asks a lot from his fullbacks with how transitional play works at Barcelona, and to support the wingers in terms of they won't track back as much defensively. So a lot of defensive coverage for the Barcelona fullbacks to complete, and Balde's done a fantastic job of that, especially as he gets his feet back under him after a year away with an injury. Similar reason, I've got Jules Koundé at right back to his best from about 2 seasons ago. And the stats sort of show that. He's got a goal and assist in the league, 2 clean sheets. But for me, the massive stats have got to be the 2 tackles per game, the 1.8 clearances per game, on top of the just over 1 key pass per game as well. He's doing the job defensively, allows Lamine Yamal not to have as much defensive duties to be done. And that's what we sort of expect with Jules Koundé. He started as a centre-back when he came to Barcelona, got forced out to right-back, and has been a brick wall that has modernised that sort of full-back position. That can be a centre-back that's versatile and quick and can close down spaces, and he does that fantastically well. Doesn't normally get skipped past, and is a really, really solid, strong full-back. So I went with the Barcelona duo, Balde at left-back and Koundé at right-back. But for the centre-backs, I went with the Real Madrid combination. Eder Militao, 7.37 average match rating, involved in 3 clean sheets in the league. Got to be the key stats, 3.7 ball recoveries and the 3 clearances per game is always a really important figure. Missed a large portion of football last season for Real Madrid, but whenever he plays alongside Antonio Rudiger, they look almost unbeatable at times with how slow they are defensively, with how many numbers go forward and the lack of defensive cover from that midfield at times. The 2 centre halves have a lot to do, but they do it very, very well. And Militao is a key figure to that, alongside Antonio Rudiger, the 7.14 average match rating, 4 clean sheets this season in La Liga. For me, the stats are obvious. 75% ground duels won, doesn't really get beaten there, and he only gets dribbled past 0.2 times per game this season. He does not get skipped past. He is super quick. We see it a lot where he does that stupid running action, but he closes down defenders for fun, and going to make it really, really difficult in this game for Robert Lewandowski. I cannot remember a time I've seen someone skip past Antonio Rudiger or him not make a massive game-saving block. He is the definition of a Real Madrid big game player and has to slip in alongside Eder Militao in the heart of my defence for me. So there's my back 4. In front of Thibaut Courtois, I've got Alejandro Balde, Eder Militao, Antonio Rudiger and Jules Koundé. In midfield, I've almost got a double pivot of Federico Valverde alongside Pedri, 2 of the workhorses, 2 of the most underrated footballers I think in the world, especially Valverde for me. He's criminally underrated for what he does. 7.74 match rating, 2 goals and 2 assists in La Liga, 90% pass accuracy, 6 ball recoveries per game, 2 interceptions per game, and he covers every single blade of grass. It's not a blade that doesn't go unrun on for Valverde. Always so pivotal at Real Madrid do. And for me, one of the few players that actually covers off defensively, actually can press for Real Madrid's side, and often is a key cog in the way their team turns over, especially in the heart of midfield. Alongside a Pedri, who whenever he's on the pitch, is instrumental for Barcelona. 7.45 match rating, 3 goals, 2 assists this season, 2 big chances created, and averaging the 2 key passes per game. Wins all these duels, and is equally balanced in the way he plays his football. Can go forward and create chances, but is really, really good covering back defensively. And I think these two in a double pivot would be fantastic if you had to actually make this team go play a game of football. The IQ of Pedri in tight spaces, the way he wriggles out of defenders, makes the right read of the game, plays the right pass, second to none for me. It's about when he's available, but in a combined 11, you have to whack him in there for me. So Pedri is in my midfield alongside Federico Valverde. Then we come to the number 10 position. I've just moved a few things around. On current form, it has to be Rafinha for me at the number 10. Yes, he's played on the left at times, maybe the right, but for me, in the number 10 this season has been fantastic. The 8.08 average match rating this season, fantastic. 9 goals, 6 assists. Came off a man-of-the-match performance in the Champions League on the week. 13 big chances created this season. 3.6 key passes and the 52% successful dribble rate. He's become a man possessed this season. After a mediocre last few years at Barcelona, after leaving Leeds, it's looked like his expressive freedom back. He's such tightly controlled on the ball, skips past defenders, and I tell you what, this part of the game which I've been so impressed with is the vision, the link-up play with Robert Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, second to none. And this is a Rafinha that we saw at Leeds all those years ago, running freely, creating freely, not a fear in the world. And it looks like Hansi Flick has unlocked a beast inside of him. And the goals and assists are just flowing for him. He just finds the right areas, the right finishes, and he has to be the number 10 for me because he is being the best player in the world currently on form at the start of this new season. So he plays the number 10 behind a front three, which is absolutely ridiculous. I've got Lamine Yamal on the right, 5 goals, 7 assists, 10 big chances created this season, 2.1 key passes per game, 3 successful dribbles per game, outperforming his XG and XA, which are key stats, I guess, in this modern football world. But again, for such a young player, he knows the big occasion. He lives up to the big occasions. And for me, it's the passing range this season. We all know the outside the foot assist he played to Rafinha at Villarreal a few weeks ago. Some of the key passes to set up Robert Lewandowski this season is finding it easier yet again up top. It's just been phenomenal. We saw it again last year as well. It's not talked about enough, but he was making big plays in key moments of Barcelona in a very underwhelming season. He was scoring match-tying, match-winning goals. So the young kid knows a big moment. He saw the Euros as well, some of the goals he was scoring, especially that goal against France. Superstar player, knows a big occasion and can perform at a big occasion. So that goes underrated as well. Obviously, Robert Lewandowski leads the line here. He has just been a man possessed again this season. 7.74 match rating, 15 goals, 2 assists, 3.4 ground duels won as well, which is really impressive. And for me, back to his clinical best. Last season, he looked a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish, and a little bit off it. Yes, the numbers are still very impressive, but it wasn't to this level, which we're saying here. 15 goals already in such a young stage of the season. Hansi Flick knows how to get the best out of Robert Lewandowski, and we're seeing that. He's become a proper just poacher in and around the box. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, creating for him, he puts it on the back of the net. I think he's probably, in this generation, one of the best finishers inside of the box that we're going to see. There's not many players like Robert Lewandowski. He's not quite producing those long shots and crazy runs in behind like he was a few years ago, but he's using that smarts, using the IQ, and he uses his know-how to find the back of the net to be that poacher in the box, and has been fantastic this season with the creation around him. And then obviously for me, my favourite player in world football, Vinicius Jr. on the left, the Ballon d'Or winner for me. He goes on the left-hand side. The 7.51 match rating, 8 goals and 4 assists in all competitions this season, 2.1 key passes per game, 2.5 successful dribbles, a big game player we saw midweek as well. Like Rafinha, Vinicius Jr. made things happen for Real Madrid in that comeback versus Borussia Dortmund, and he's always someone that makes things happen. He's been the unselfish one so far this season, giving up penalty kicks to Mbappe, laying the ball off to Bellingham and Mbappe. He's probably been the one that's tried to take the step down to better his teammates. But to be honest, for me, this team has to go through Vinicius Jr. He is the best player at Real Madrid. He wears the number 7, and you saw in the midweek versus Borussia Dortmund, he said, I'm going to take us and I'm going to fight back here and spark this comeback, and it was him. And in the big game, think back to Bayern Munich, the two-legged affair in the semi-finals of the Champions League last season. That was on him. Some of the chance creation in the final of the Champions League against Borussia Dortmund was Vinicius Jr. And yes, sometimes his league performances are inconsistent, but boy, is he magical. And boy, there's not many players like Vinicius Jr. The way he skips past defenders, his dribbling ability, that turn of pace as well. You can't stop Vinny when he's got his head down running. And I think, for me, easily slots in a left wing for me. So that concludes my combined 11. Thibaut Courtois in goal, Balde at left back, Jules Koundé right back with Militao and Antonio Rudiger at centre half, Federico Valverde and Pedri playing a double pivot in midfield with Rafinha at the number 10, Robert Lewandowski leads the line, Lamine Yamal on the right, and it's Vinicius Jr. from the left. Boy, is that a very, very strong team. And it's going to be a really, really entertaining game tonight. I feel like this El Clásico. Real Madrid going for the longest unbeaten streak in Spanish football, or to tie Barcelona's longest winning unbeaten streak in La Liga. So it'll be a lot to play for. They want to equal that record, and Barcelona want to stop them and keep their record for themselves. So that's going to be another subplot in this game as well. Hansi Flick taking on Carlo Ancelotti, two of the great coaches in world football right now as well. A lot to be excited about. My picture for the game, I'm going with a 2-1 Real Madrid win. I think they know these big games. They've got the big game players. I think Luka Modric, Valverde in midfield, they make things happen. They make the game tick over. And for me, look for Rodrigo to be the guy that's going to change the game. I love what he does. I love what he does in big games. He's someone that gets forgotten about in all the big stars, Mbappe, Vinny, Bellingham. I think it'll be Rodrigo to change the game and potentially score a win in this one here. It's going to be caged. It's going to be tight early on. It'll be a physical affair. But as the game goes on, look for the game to come stretched and look for Rodrigo to score the winner. That's my prediction. 2-1 Real Madrid win for me, but cannot wait for this game. Let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. Let me know if you think my combined 11 is correct or not. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Massive games like El Clásicos are back, and we absolutely love them. Probably the best El Clásico we've had in maybe since Messi and Ronaldo were there, because it's been one-sided in most of the recent El Clásicos, and we're due a great one yet again. If you enjoyed the video, guys, make sure to smash a like and subscribe to the Players Zone channel and press that post notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later. Peace.